Once there was a poor man. His name was Hans. He had no money, no home, and no food. But he was happy. "I'll find something," he said. "I'll walk down this road and go to the next town." After a short time, a very old woman called out to him from across the road. "What do you want?" asked Hans. "What do you want?" said the old woman. "What do I want? I want money." "You can get money," said the old woman. "Take this magical blue coat and climb to the top of that tall tree. Then climb down inside it. You will enter a large room with 300 lights. There are 3 doors. If you go through the first door, you will see a large box. A dog with eyes as big as eggs is sitting on top of the box. Don't be afraid, he won't hurt you. Put the blue coat on the ground. Take the dog and place him on the coat. Open the box and you will see money. Take some. If you go through the second door, you will see a bigger box. A dog with eyes as big as oranges is sitting on top of it. Don't be afraid, he won't hurt you. Put the dog on the coat, open the box, and you will see gold. Take some. Go through the third door. There you will see the biggest box. A dog with eyes as big as plates is sitting on top of it. Don't be afraid, he is friendly. Inside the box are jewels. Take some. "That's wonderful," said Hans. "But what can I do for you?" "I don't want money, gold, or jewels," said the old woman. "I only want a small thing." In the third room, there is a small glass box. My grandmother lost it there. Bring that box to me. Hans climbed the tree and then climbed down inside it. Down and down he went. Then he saw the 300 lights and the 3 doors. He opened the first door and entered a small room. There was a dog with eyes as big as eggs sitting on a box. "Good dog," said Hans. He remembered the old woman's words. He put the blue coat on the ground, picked up the dog and placed him on the coat. He opened the box and became very excited. He took some money and put it in his hat. He put the dog back on the box and went to the second room. There, a dog with eyes as big as oranges was sitting on a box. "What a beautiful dog," said Hans. He placed the dog on the blue coat and opened the box. His eyes suddenly turned as yellow as the gold inside. Hans took some gold and put it in his hat. Then he went to the last room. This dog's eyes were as big as plates. "You are a very beautiful dog," he said. Hans looked at the jewels in the box. His eyes suddenly turned red, blue, yellow, green, and gold. He took some jewels and put them in his shoes. Then he remembered the old woman's glass box. He found it on the ground next to the dog. Hans climbed back up inside the tree. This time it was harder because of the heavy gold and jewels, but he managed to get out of the tree. When the old woman saw him, she shouted, "Throw the box down!" But Hans did not throw it. Suddenly, a stone hit his head. "Help! I'm going to fall and die," he thought. But he held onto a branch and did not fall. "Did you throw that stone?" he shouted. "Yes. Now give me the box." She was no longer friendly. "I won't give it to you," Hans replied. The old woman became very angry, and her face became very ugly. Hans went down to the ground and walked away down the road. The woman insulted him, but Hans did not answer. She could do nothing. When he reached the town, it was night. He found a very nice room and ordered the best food. The next day, he went out and bought fine clothes. People thought he was an important and rich man. Suddenly, he had many friends. One day, someone asked him, "Do you know the princess?" "Which princess?" asked Hans. "Who is she? Where does she live?" "You can't see her," said the man. "Why not?" "Because she lives in a big house and cannot go outside. There is only one door. The windows are very high. She never goes out. The king does not allow anyone to see her." "Why does she live like that?" asked Hans. "Because a wise old man told the king, 'Your daughter will marry a poor man.'" The king became very angry. He built a big house with high windows and locked the princess inside. "I want to see the princess," said Hans. He found the house and went to the door, but the king's servants sent him away immediately. Then he put on his most expensive clothes and went to the king's house. The king became very angry. "Never come near my house again," he shouted. "I will cut off your head and put it on a stick." Hans was living well at that time, but he spent his money quickly. One day, he had only 2 jewels left. He left his fine room and found a poor house to live in. Hans was poor again. No one cooked his food. No one cleaned his shoes. His rich friends did not invite him to their houses. He tried to find the tree with the 3 dogs again, but he could not find it. Soon, Hans had no money at all. He had no money to buy food. He looked around his room. What could he sell? He saw the small glass box on the table. "Maybe I can buy some bread with this," he thought. Why did the old woman want it? It's glass, but I can't see inside. Maybe there are jewels or gold in it. He tried to open the box, but he couldn't. He hit it once with his hand. Suddenly, the dog with eyes as big as eggs appeared in front of him. "What do you want?" asked the dog. "What do I want?" shouted Hans. "I want money!" The dog went away. He came back quickly with a bag of money in his mouth. Hans thought for a moment. Then he said, "I've got it! When I hit the box once, the first dog comes. When I hit it twice, the second dog comes. When I hit it 3 times, the third dog comes." He hit the box. 1, 2, and the dog with eyes as big as oranges brought gold. He hit the box 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and the dog with eyes as big as plates brought jewels. Hans was rich again. He bought fine clothes and moved into a big house. All his friends came back. "Why didn't you visit us?" they said. "Where were you?" Hans did not like these friends. He only thought of the unhappy princess. She can't go outside, he thought. She can't walk in a garden. Her mother is dead. She can only talk to servants and the old king. She has an unhappy life. One night, Hans could not sleep. Suddenly, he had an idea and got out of bed. He took the glass box and hit it once. The dog came. "Night, a beautiful night," said Hans. "No one will see us. I know the princess would like to walk in my garden. Bring her here." The dog came back very quickly. The princess was sleeping on his back. Her beautiful face was sad. Hans woke her and took her into the garden. "Where am I?" shouted the princess. "What is happening?" She was frightened. "You are walking with me in my garden," said Hans. "Look, the flowers are sleeping." "A garden?" shouted the princess. "Am I outside? Is there earth under my feet and sky above my head? No walls? No windows? I can hear the sounds of the night." They walked for a long time. Then the sun began to rise. "I must go," she said. "But how did I get here?" Hans told her about the glass box and the dogs. The princess hit the box and called the dog. "Good dog," she said. "What beautiful eyes you have. Take me home. No one must see us. Thank you for this night, Hans." The princess climbed onto the dog's back and fell asleep. The next day, the princess remembered nothing, but she felt different. Anna, a jealous and cruel servant, woke her. "Wake up, princess. It's noon. The king is waiting for you." "Is it?" said the princess, jumping out of bed happily. "Look, Anna, what a beautiful day." Anna began to think. There were several strange things. First, the princess always woke up at 7, but today it was 12. Second, the princess was always sad, but today she was happy. Third, the bottom of the princess's nightgown was dirty. Fourth, there was a beautiful white flower on the floor of the princess's room, but there were no white flowers in the king's garden. Anna went to the king. "Let's wait and watch," said the king. "When she goes out again, we will follow her." Hans loved the princess. He thought about her day and night. After 3 days, he could not wait any longer. He hit the glass box, 1, 2, and the dog with eyes as big as oranges appeared. "Please bring the princess to my garden," he said. The dog went to the princess, but Anna was there too. The dog carried the princess on his back, and Anna followed them. The dog stopped at the door of a big house and went inside. Anna wrote the letter X on the door and went home. Hans and the princess walked in the garden. Hans told her the story of the old woman, the tree, the 3 dogs, and the glass box. He talked about his poor mother, his 3 brothers, and his 3 sisters. The princess loved his stories. She told him about her family too. "My father was a great man and a good king," she said. "But when my mother died, he changed. He suddenly became old, tired, and sad. He locked me in that house. Now he gets angry even at small things. He doesn't want to be king. He wants white flowers in his garden. My mother loved white flowers. But now the flowers always die." The red light of the morning sun began to brighten the sky. The princess said goodnight to Hans. Hans hit the box. 1, 2, and the second dog appeared. This dog, with eyes as big as oranges, could see everything. He saw the X on the door and told Hans. "Ho ho!" laughed Hans. "Come quickly, let's write an X on every door on this street and the next 10 streets." The next day, Anna told the king what had happened during the night. The king went to Hans's street with Anna and some men. "The house is here," shouted Anna. "No, here," shouted the king. One of the men ran over. "The house is on the next street," he said. "There is an X on the door." Every house had an X on its door. The king became very angry and went home. Later, Anna thought of another plan. She went to her room and closed the door. She made a small bag and filled it with small white stones. She made a small hole in the bottom of the bag and put it in the princess's clothes. "Now," she said, "when the princess goes out, the stones will fall onto the road. We will follow the stones and find the house." That night, Hans called the princess again. They walked in the garden. The dog with eyes as big as plates was waiting in front of the house. "I wish I were a prince," said Hans. "I wouldn't want to be a princess," said the princess. "Why?" asked Hans. The princess did not answer. "I want to be a prince," said Hans, "because I want to marry you." They sat under a tree. Hans put the glass box beside him. "Don't be a prince," said the princess. "I couldn't love a prince. I would be a poor girl, and you would be Hans." At that moment, the dog saw the king and Anna coming with 100 servants. They had left the king's house and were looking at the white stones. The stones shone in the dark, and they followed them. The dog ran to the princess. "The king is coming," he shouted. "Come quickly!" The dog picked up the princess on his back and ran quickly through the streets. The king, Anna, and the servants came to Hans's house. "Is the princess here?" shouted the king. Hans did not answer. Suddenly, the king saw his daughter's small shoe next to the beautiful white flowers on the ground. He could not speak for a while. Then, angrily, he said, "Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, my woodcutter will cut off your head." The servants took Hans to the king's house and locked him in a room. Hans looked for the glass box. Where was it? It was gone. He couldn't call the dogs. Then he remembered. It was under the tree. When the sun rose, Hans went to the window and looked down. It was very high. Below, he saw a small child and called out, "Hey, little child!" "What do you want?" shouted the child. "Do you want 3 pennies?" "Yes," said the child. "Then run to my house. Tell my servant, Hans has a small glass box. It is under a tree in the garden. He wants you to bring it to the king's house. If you bring me the box, I will give you 3 pennies." The child went away. After a while, he came back with the box. "Throw it up!" shouted Hans. The child threw the box and Hans caught it. Then he threw the money down. At that moment, the door opened and the king's men came in. They took Hans to the large square in the middle of the town. Everyone in the town was there. They wanted to watch. The king stood in the middle of the square, surrounded by important people from the town. In front of Hans stood a large, strong woodcutter wearing a long red coat and a tall black hat. "Are you ready?" the king asked the woodcutter. "Are you ready?" asked the woodcutter to Hans. "No," shouted Hans and took out the glass box. "Are you ready?" asked the woodcutter. "No," shouted Hans and hit the box once, then twice. 1, 2, then 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The 3 dogs stood in front of him. "Take the woodcutter," said Hans to the dog with eyes as big as eggs. "Throw him into the river." The dog picked up the woodcutter on his back and ran. "Take the king's men," said Hans to the dog with eyes as big as plates. The dog grew and grew. Everyone watched with open mouths. The dog was now as big as a house. The king's men were very afraid and ran away. "Bring the princess here," said Hans to the dog with eyes as big as oranges. "Where is the king?" shouted Hans. Soon the princess and the king stood in front of Hans, with the dogs behind them. "What do you want most in life?" Hans asked the old king. "I only want white flowers in my garden and to see my daughter happy." "When we marry, white flowers will grow again in your garden and the princess will be happy." So Hans and the princess were married. The new king and queen lived happily and lovingly for many years. They had 6 children and lived in a large garden filled with laughter. The old king spent his final years with them in peace. Their garden was full of white flowers in every season. They never withered. And the fairy tale ends here, happily.